Now on Emory Street and South Grand Vista Avenue. This is all thanks to our extreme nav technology. Speeds aren't anything to really be too concerned about. It was going about 40 miles an hour when we just brought this to you. Now it looks like it's under the underpass, so we don't have particular eyes on it. But we do, Alex, see the LAPD going by now with the flashing lights. And it's on surface streets, and look at all the traffic stopped. And obviously they're going, well, why are we stopped here? It looks like they can see that this is happening right before them.
Yeah, and there's some concerns and reports that this person's been driving on the wrong side of the road as well, which makes it especially dangerous. Of course, we are right in the middle of rush hour. Lots of folks are out and about, not expecting to run into a high-speed pursuit, trying to get home at the end of a busy day, at the end of a busy week, wanting to get back safely to their families. And then this happens, and you can see as we try to see the lights there, and look at this guy now driving real fast the wrong way. This is very dangerous because any of those folks could be hit. And it is, frankly, Marla, made more dangerous the fact that there isn't a car, a lights and sirens right around this person, so people may not know that they are coming. It is a balancing act that law enforcement, driving right through a stop sign there, has to weigh whether it is more dangerous or less dangerous for them to follow this person real closely, or do they just track them from the sky. They're right now making that decision to not be right on his or her tail, but that creates some challenges for them and challenges for folks on the ground as well. Yeah,
so this is East 44th Street in the Southgate area now, and when they talk about bringing these pursuits to an end, Alex, sometimes they do have to back off because it's just too dangerous. They first and foremost take public safety into consideration. And at this point in time, speeds are just too much for a pit maneuver. They will often resort to. We've seen that bring pursuits come to an end many a times. We've also seen the spike strips, but it's just too hard when there's so many vehicles out on a Friday evening, 5:40 at night, and now we're back on a much busier roadway here. And it does look like a silver tinted windows. Again, we're still working to figure out the why LAPD, this is, by the way, the Newton division that picked this up, why this driver is being pursued in the first place. Alex, they always assume the worst, that this person is armed and that there's more than one.
Right, and ultimately officer safety is a paramount concern and seems to be determinant a lot of the things. So it seems pretty obvious based off of what we're looking at that they are in tracking mode, which means that they don't have the cruisers right up behind the driver, that they're following from the air out of an abundance of caution. And they're following this driver. But you look at these situations here, especially when the driver speeds up and goes against traffic, that's especially dangerous. And you hold your breath every time that this driver does it, because any unsuspecting person could be driving the other way and obviously have no idea that this person is coming.
Yeah, speeds 60 miles per hour plus on these surface streets. And yeah, you make a very good point. When they do decide to back off and go into tracking mode, that doesn't mean that they just give up on the pursuit. That means that the ground units back off because they are worried about public safety, officer safety, but they do continue to surveil via the airship above. So, you know, sometimes these pursuit suspects get away. The stat is 18% of pursuit suspects get away. We've seen it happen on our air.
Yeah.
It can happen, but again, it takes a lot for that to happen. Most of the time.
And most of the time it seems like they're in tracking mode when they do get away, which oftentimes that means driving to places like underground parking lots or where it is hard to track somebody from a helicopter. Whoa. Now we're getting real close, and this is getting real dangerous.
Yeah,
and give a heads up, you know,
head on.
I know you were on last night with the pursuit and talked about, you know, part of the reason we do this is as a public safety. And you may want to give your friends that are in this neighborhood of East LA a heads up, especially if they're on the roads right now, that this guy's coming, because, you know, this is not good. And people, it would be great if they are aware, because they are in tracking mode. You don't have anybody to try to stop this. You don't. You do have the ability for this guy to potentially go into a parking garage and get away, and you also have no real warning that this is coming, other than the multiple helicopters flying overhead, not only law enforcement helicopters, but media helicopters. Okay, here we go. Woo, okay, this is really dangerous now.
Yeah, and it also appears to be a two-tone vehicle, unless just that's my vantage point, but it does look to be sort of a sports car-like. Whether that's a Camaro or a Dodge or a Challenger, we're still working to get the make and model, but it's got some pep to it. I mean, speeds now 70 miles per hour, it just hit 80, now backing down. You know, this gives me a sigh of relief because it was so congested where they just were, and it was a wrong-way driver, and now it looks like he has this, or she has this particular road, South Alameda Street, to himself, just as I say that, now doing exactly what I just described. Ugh.
Yeah, and what we also don't know, because we haven't been seeing this for all that long and don't know really anything about the driver right now, is does this person have a familiarity with this neighborhood? Is there a reason why they're driving in this neighborhood of East LA? Are they near their home? Are they looking to get back to their mom's house or something like that? Or is this just sort of a random area where they're traversing the streets? They may be experts in these particular streets, or they may be on them for the first time.
We are getting some information as this suspect navigates interestingly through that intersection there, that this is a cold-plated vehicle. What does that mean? It means that the plates don't match the car. So
you wonder if it's stolen?
Yep, you wonder if it's a stolen vehicle. Very well could be. Now,
whoa.
Yep,
this guy's driving like a stunt driver out of a Hollywood movie right now.
Weaving in and out of traffic. South Alameda Street and Randolph Street, Southgate. We cannot stress that enough. If someone you know is out on the roads on this Friday night in this area, please let them know, because, I mean, this is a recipe for a wrong-way crash, a head-on crash.
Whoa.
Yep, another one right there. All these close calls.
And so, you know, they're really, especially when they're in tracking mode, there isn't very much that can be done to stop this. And there's not a lot of reason why the driver would stop this, other than if the driver crashes into something, runs out of gas, or just decides to give up. But you know, when there would be an active pursuit, as Marla talked about, there's the pursuit intervention technique, which is when law enforcement officers essentially press up against the side of a vehicle and try to spin it to make it stop. There's the spike strip, which is putting something down on the ground that basically drive over and mess up the tires and basically immobilize, a vehicle. And then, you know, there's also boxing a car in. Here we go. Okay, now look at these intersections. I mean, this is really, really where you have to be concerned. And we're, you know, this person is really reckless. And part of the reason, Marla, that they often go into tracking mode is to not agitate the driver and cause them to drive more recklessly, to do things like they're doing. But this person is doing all this without lights and sirens right behind him. Yeah,
let's bring in Kevin Takumi. He's often in Skyfox. He's covered a number of pursuits. Kevin, given that police are in tracking mode, are they strategizing behind the scenes to bring this to an end despite that?
Well, at this point, you know, the airship's doing its best to try to keep track of where the vehicle is going. They're advising the watch commander of the speeds that that this car is going.
Whoa!
And, you know,
my gosh.
Almost crashed right there, almost going through that center portion there, almost at the sideswept that other car. But as we go west on Firestone here, you can see the speeds. He's been jumping up into like almost the 90-mile-an-hour range here. On Alameda, he was getting into that area, which was it's right on the edge of LAX's airspace, and it looks like that's why the helicopter's starting to hang back here, because they were kind of outside that range right there. But the vehicle's still going high rates of speed, wrong side of the road. The airship is trying to tell them where this pursuit, where this vehicle is going here, and that the conditions that this driver is doing are still very reckless. But getting units in position at this point is going to be difficult, especially it's out of LAPD's jurisdiction. It's in the Southgate area on Firestone, which was going to be kind of going into, this is going to be the sheriff's area, kind of the Florence Firestone area. So it's going to be the sheriff's area. If he keeps going to the west here, it's going to put it back into LAPD's jurisdiction. But coming up to a lot of traffic. There's just so much traffic within the LA area right now. It's just squeezing by that parked car you saw right there. So looks like he's going west, trying to make it back towards the 110 freeway, since it did start in the Newton Division area. So we'll see what's coming up here. He's going to hit Broadway next, Central, then Broadway, and then the 110. Okay, looks like he's going to go north, making a north turn up on Central now. So we're going to just east of the 110 freeway, speed jumping up there up to almost 70, 80 miles an hour. And once again, these are surface streets. So looks like they just, still going north. You can kind of keep track of it here because it's got a little bit of a damaged tail light, it looked like there. That's pointing towards the ground. Okay, making another turn. Okay, westbound turn on 81st, still going in the direction of getting closer to the 110 freeway here. So we'll see if he's going to try to make it all the way back and get over to the 110 freeway.
Zigzagging, that is what we are watching this suspect do. It could be a stolen vehicle pursuit suspect. We're working to get that confirmed for you. Kevin, we want to show our viewers who may just be joining us one of those close calls, because it's been quite
an opportunity to get on the freeway. He just stayed on the surface streets this entire time. So at this point, we'll have to see if he's going to do that. I'm hearing he's on Main Street. I'm hearing he's on Main Street and still driving up to 50 miles an hour and zigzagging through a lot of traffic in the area.
Wow. It's amazing that there hasn't been a crash just yet. I mean, given the way that this person is driving so recklessly. Again, please let your family and friends know if they're driving home tonight in this particular area that they should stay clear of it, given the danger on the road right now in this police pursuit. LAPD picking it up from the Newton Division. Reportedly a stolen vehicle. We're working to get that confirmed. And it looks like Skyfox above the scene is still searching. LA, and you see the black and white there with the doors open. When we went to break, we understand that the vehicle was ditched and the suspect got into another vehicle, ditched the vehicle under the 110 freeway. Yep, at Hoover and Slauson. Now you see the red vehicle there, the suspect with the nights on him, back turned, doing as he's supposed to, hands up, and officers, plenty of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 at least, Alex, on him to bring this suspect into custody. South Hoover and West Vernon Avenue in South LA.
And so it appears, at least from that shot, that there's only one person in the vehicle. What they will do, once they feel comfortable, they will move in on to this suspect and put handcuffs on him and take him into custody. And then they will search the vehicle to make sure that nobody else is in it. It's interesting they haven't moved in. Yeah, okay, there's somebody else.
Oh, yeah, just
as I was expecting that wasn't just going to be one person. So that's why they hadn't moved in, because they're doing instructions to that person. We don't know if this second vehicle was a carjacking situation, somebody just driving and the guy tries to get in, and maybe that second person is unsuspecting. Were they a friend? Or this was some sort of deal that they worked out over cell phone, or you know, what are the circumstances of that? But both of these people, it appears, looks like they're both men, are going to be taken into custody and questioned to try to sort some of that out.
But it's interesting that that initial driver, it looks like, is still there doing, hopefully, as officers are telling him to do. And it's hard to bring this to an end entirely. We can't say it's an all code 4 now as the suspect gets down on the ground, flat, again, spread eagle. This is routine. Officers hopefully will move in, but they do have to check the vehicle, check the trunk. They'll make sure that that is empty, and then they can, do the all clear with a code 4 as it is officially called.
So our simulcast